setups of a ton of the top Fortnite controller pros. Because on this channel, I talk so much about controller settings, but a lot of the time we are completely disregarding the actual controllers that these players are using. But right before I jump into that information, I'm actually doing a controller giveaway. So Hex Gaming was nice enough to send me out this absolutely beautiful controller that I'm really gonna dive into and try out in the next video, and they're actually letting me give away a controller to you guys. The requirements are really simple. All you have to do is subscribe to my channel, then in the top link of the description, go ahead and subscribe to Hex Gaming's channel, go ahead and drop a like on this video, and lastly, you're gonna make a comment on this video, which includes two important things. So for you to be able to win this, you have to include either your Instagram or Twitter in the comment so I can contact you if you get picked as the winner, and then in the same comment, let me know which model of the controller that you want. There's gonna be 3 different models, the first being the Edge White Splashing Spray, the second being the Hyper Chameleon, and the third being the Edge Eye of Providence Origin. The winner will be picked in a future video on my channel in about a week and a half. Alright, so controller setups. So as far as controller accessories go, there's actually not many that pro controller players use. All controller players mentioned in this video are the same ones that I did in a previous video. They're going to be who I believe to be in the top 20 best controller players. So all this information regarding controllers, accessories, all revolves around these 20 guys. So what I found that was pretty surprising was that even though some of these guys have hundreds of thousands of dollars earned on Fortnite, none of them are really using any extra controller accessories. Although at this point, I'm sure that some of them in the top 20 are using a Zen. However, we obviously don't know who those players are, so we'll move on to KontrolFreeks, which are pretty much the most popular controller accessories. I'm sure everyone knows what KontrolFreeks are. They're basically just these extra grips that go on the top of your thumbsticks. Some of them are domed, some have different textures, and then obviously they add the extra height. And the extra height isn't really useful on your left stick, but for the right stick, which is what you're actually aiming with, the increased height of the stick means you can be really precise and make really subtle movements that you can't really make with a normal analog stick. So I did some searching and actually made this chart, which again includes the top 20 controller players, and I went searching to see how many of them actually use KontrolFreeks. And I gotta say, the results are really surprising. As you can see here, we literally just go down the line. We go Deyy, no, Mero, no, Reet, no, Wolfiez, no, scuf, no, Illis, no, TK, no, Justice, no, FaZe Sway, no. There's literally not a single pro player here that uses KontrolFreeks. We can see here, Colazo doesn't use KontrolFreeks, but he has a scuf with a custom thumbstick, so his controller actually comes with the custom analog stick that's domed and taller on the right side. Then we have Bully, Letshe, Wolfiez, none of them use it. Hazard has a pretty funny situation going on. In one of his recent gameplay videos, he showed a hand cam where it looked like he had made like a homemade KontrolFreek. And then he went and included this clip of Aussie antics.
Is my man just rocking like a fat wad of duct tape?
Which makes me kind of believe that he actually uses a duct tape KontrolFreek. Then we have all these guys, and Kiko is the only other one that I was not able to find any information about, but Kiko does use a scuf, so there is the possibility, just like Colazo, that he has one of those stick alterations you can get on the scuf. So while they may not use any extra controller accessories, a lot of pros do try and use different types of controllers. And once again, of course, I have a chart showing all of their controllers. By the looks of it, scufs seem to be the most popular choice among pro players, with 40% of the top 20 controller players using some variety of a scuf. The most popular being a scuf Impact, which 5 of them use, then 2 of them use an Infinity 4PS and 1 of them use a Prestige. The second most popular controller is going to be a standard PS4 controller, which 25% of the top 20 controller players use. Then we have 10% using a standard PS5, 10% using a standard Xbox One, and 10% using an Xbox Elite. And that leaves 1 left, and that's going to be Letshe, who uses an Astro C40. So, although these pro controller players aren't using like extra accessories, like they're not going out specifically and buying extra paddles or buying KontrolFreeks or grips, but over 50% of these guys are using a controller that's not standard, meaning that more than half of these guys could be using like an alternate stick that comes with their controller, or maybe a different grip that comes on it, or maybe some alteration of like paddles, or even shortened trigger systems. So it's not necessarily necessarily that these pros aren't using these extra accessories. It's just that a lot of them don't go and buy the $15 ones that we buy for our standard controllers, because they're going out and spending hundreds of dollars on these more luxury controllers that already include those sorts of accessories on the controller that comes with it. With that being said, we still have nearly half of our top 20 controller players that use just a standard controller. And I do have a theory about this. My theory, or sort of thought process as to why a lot of the top controller players use a standard controller, consists of a couple different things. The first being that every single one of these pro controller players started off as a casual gamer. When you're a casual gamer, you're not constantly looking for that competitive edge, and you're typically not willing to go out and spend hundreds of dollars on extras for your consoles or PC. So throughout all these players' childhoods, they grew up playing on standard controllers just like the rest of us did. I mean, no one's first gaming controller is a $300 scuf or Astro C40 or something crazy like that. All of us start out on the base controller that just comes with our console, and that's what we learn to play on. So for these guys, it's no different, and I think that as a result, a lot of them have just learned and got really comfortable with using the standard controller. The other main factor is that the average age of a Fortnite pro today is 17.5 years old. And all of these guys have been playing since the early days of Fortnite, and Fortnite just had its 4-year Battle Royale anniversary, so we can confidently say that all of these guys have been playing for at least 3 years, some of them probably longer. That puts the average age of the Fortnite pros when they started playing Fortnite at around 14 or 15 years old. And we know that most 14 and 15-year-olds don't just have hundreds of dollars laying around for extra fancy controllers. When you're 14 or 15, unless you come from a lot of money, which I don't think any of these guys did, I mean, the price of these scufs, like $250, that's like a really significant amount of money to a 14 or 15-year-old. So instead of getting a competitive advantage by spending hundreds of dollars on different type of controller, the majority of these players chose the free option, which is to learn claw. Because with claw, you can get the same or maybe even more of an advantage over using paddles. Plus, I mean, I can't really discredit the standard controllers. The standard controllers are really good. Out of any controller you'll find, the standard controllers are usually the most quality. They're typically the most durable. They have the most longevity. It's obviously two enormous companies, Microsoft and Sony, which are designing the controllers, so the controllers are highly engineered. They're gonna be ergonomic and be comfortable to hold. They're gonna have the lowest input delays of any controller. They're gonna have the best compatibilities with console or PC or even your phone. So it's not like they're bad controllers, it's just that other controllers offer way more competitive advantages. And when you're playing a game like Fortnite, things like digital tap triggers or extra paddles or extra grip on your controller can be an absolute game changer. So the whole standard PS4 controller among pro players is pretty interesting in my opinion. So if you've ever been curious about the controller setups that pro players use, then I hope this information is helpful. It took me a long time to find all of it. I'm still working on building my personal controller collection. I think I'm up to 7 total controllers, and I think I have 5 different varieties of controllers. And then of course I have a bunch of other controller accessories like different types of paddles and grips and whatnot. But like I said, I am looking to add to that collection, so I want to hear your guys' suggestions. Drop me some comments, let me know which controllers I should be trying, and I appreciate you guys for watching. Hope to catch you in a future video.